Beautiful weekend, man. Beautiful Easter weekend. Actually, no, it wasn't a beautiful Easter weekend. It was kind of mundane. It happened to happen. It existed. This Easter weekend existed. And let me tell you, the games we got this weekend were very intriguing, to say the very least. Where do we even begin? I mean, where do we even begin? I might as well begin with the AF1. Might as well, you know? I mean, the Washington Wolfpack cannot score, above 30 points to save their lives. Nashville just beat the brakes off of them. Rakeem Cato, it continues to bounce around teams and stuff like that. But at least Salina has a win. They beat Oregon. It's a lot of muck in the AF1 right now because the clear-cut number one is the Albany Firebirds, who yet again beat the brakes off of Billings. I mean, what are we doing here, man? 39-7 this time. Not as bad as the first matchup, but, who's going to face Albany in the AF1 championship? I have no idea at this point. Could it be Corpus Christi? Could it be Southwest Kansas? Could it be Billings? Could it be Salina? Could it be Nashville? Could it be Washington? Could it be Oregon? Could be anybody. But yeah, the best game by far in the AF1 this weekend was that end of the game sequence, hook and ladder with no time left, that got Southwest Kansas to win over Corpus. Just a beautiful game between both teams. There was a penalty that wiped the play before it out, and thus they had to do it all over again. And then that play happened, and it was beautiful. Beautiful stuff, let me tell you. Beautiful stuff. The NAL, on the other hand, has had an interesting week. The NAL YouTube channel is, there's a new one where you can watch games, but they're private links. You have to go through a playlist to see the games. That's private to see the games, and there's no chat function. So you can't chat on it. You can watch the games, but it's no chat sequence, which makes things kind of fun. We all know the chats are insufferable. The streams are pretty much the same. That isn't even the worst thing that happened this week, though. Let's talk about Carolina. Carolina, again, has had so many owners over the past couple of years, with all the Rob Storm stuff that's been going on and everything, there's a reason there's a lot of owners, and a lot of those owners have been, kind of mad about coaching Negron leaving. I gotta watch myself by saying this man's name, because apparently that's what got the NAL's YouTube channel striked down, was trying to say Coach Negron's name. I'm probably gonna get myself, knocked out for trying to say his name. But yeah. So the NAL YouTube channel was it was for that reason, not copyright strikes, but an announcer saying the now Omaha head coach's name in a way that, is not, I don't think that's how you say the name, but I mean, it should be easy to pronounce, but yet, I can't pronounce names to save my life, and y'all know this. Carolina has had so much trouble with, businesses and owners, and those two things finally started to rear their ugly heads and started to make a cut, seam line down the middle, and making the team look, kind of in bad straits. You know what I'm saying? They are basically on their last legs. Carolina was able to make it out to Wheeling, though. However, players for Wheeling were able to play for Carolina in that case, and thus Carolina gets blown out by Wheeling. We don't know if Carolina's going to fold this week. We don't know if it's going to be tonight. They could have already happened by the time this video goes up. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen at any time. I don't know, man. But the point is that Carolina is one of those teams where it's always been a problem, where they have a arena that has 20,000 people. It can fit 20,000 people in it, but they need a smaller arena because the max they get is 3,000 at best. It's literally 3,000 to 4,000 at best that comes to a Carolina Cobras game, and it's just sad. I mean, Carolina has a top-notch thing going on. I mean, the uniforms look good, the players are good, the announcers are cool. Everything is top-notch for Carolina, but everything comes down to the business side of things at the end of the day, and the business side of things is not mathing it up. The math ain't mathing when you have 1/5 of an arena field, and it's just unfortunate. And it's been that case the entire time that they have existed. It's been that way the entire time. And if Carolina, is able to finish the season, that's great. But if they don't, and we hear something in the near future, about them, then it is what it is. It's just the nature of the sport at this point. We've seen teams fold up shop in the middle of the season before, not just in the NAL, but the AF1, IFL. We've seen it happen. And it will continue to happen in the sport. The I-29 rivalry, Sioux City, Omaha, beautiful game as usual. Of course, Omaha made some mistakes late in this game, but we're able to use their Omaha beef magic to come out and win this game. No, I'm just playing. There is no such thing as Omaha beef magic, It was a fun game between Sioux City and Omaha. I'll tell you that much. Can't say the same for Idaho, Colorado. That game was disgusting. Idaho didn't even score. Why are we having shutouts in 2025? I swear, there's been a shutout like every other week at this point. It's nasty. In the AAL, Jersey was able to beat the brakes off of Michigan. New Jersey got their first win. The Georgia Indians were able to beat the brakes off of Tri-City again. Mississippi beats Peach State. Very surprising. Now, Peach State's claiming they had some sort of announcement later. We'll find out what that is. IFL, hey, it's the North Florida Ospreys. They complained about a play that looked pretty clean, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Massachusetts beats Jacksonville in a fun game. Of course, the big thing is about that, that play that could have been called for a penalty. I mean, the way I see it is, it's just the thing that happened. Like, I don't know. People are gonna complain, and of course, some of our favorite friends that support the Sharks, are definitely complaining about this, and have had beef with the Massachusetts Pirates for years. And of course, people that rep Massachusetts are going to have beef with Jacksonville, and so friends of ours that also, represent Massachusetts are having beef with Jacksonville. So the Mass-Jacks rivalry continues. It's a shame that those North Florida Ospreys jerseys were pretty much for nothing because Jacksonville lost. No, I'm just playing. They looked pretty good. Bay Area won. Northern Arizona still pretty bad. Like, what are we doing here? Tulsa with over 14,000 people in attendance with another win against San Antonio. Which, shout out to the Blizzard fan cast boys. Them. BJ and Taylor, they were able to fly out to Tulsa and able to commentate that game with Ralph. Great stuff there. Really good stuff. Again, it's a little bit of a tough time. The IFL. I think you're just as shocked as I am to see that Quad City is 4-0, or Arizona is also still undefeated. It is what it is with that. So there's only a couple other things here to kind of nosh on real quick. The Kansas City Goats, they are now the St. Joseph Goats because they moved to St. Joseph, Missouri. And then the AIF Championship has been confirmed today. It was confirmed a couple hours ago that it will be the Coralville Chaos and the West Michigan Ironmen on May the 3rd. They moved it up by a month. They moved up the championship by a month. To be quite honest, best move considering West Michigan has not played in a while. Have not played in like a month. and Beaumont definitely a even bigger winner as well. Forgot about Beaumont for a second. They beat Columbus 44-37. Beautiful game there. Real fun Beaumont team, man. This is the NAL with these expansion teams. Beaumont, Shreveport. They have been fun this year. Those two teams have been very fun to look at this year, and I hope they continue to be two of the best things about the NAL. Yeah, you have your Omaha, and your Sioux City rivalry. You have that. You have, Wheeling being underwhelming for the first month of the season, and then things turning around. You have the Omaha Beef Coaches show going crazy, each and every week with something new to say each and every time. But Beaumont, Shreveport, those are the best stories in the NAL, bar none. Two of the best stories in the sport, bar none. And I think there's something good there. The IFL, yet again, probably having a little bit of a leg up right now as far as, not getting any negativity the way that they should be getting, but it is what it is. There's just been a week of, weirdness yet again. We had another week of weirdness. I mean, hook and ladders in a game that did not make any sense. Replacement players, a rivalry that transcends the sport, is the best in the sport by far. Another rivalry that has always been intensified, continually intensifying hatred towards one another. Also having another intense chapter this week. I mean, even had a shutout. And again, I'm just as surprised as you are. How many shutouts have there been this year? I swear there have been more shutouts than years past. Look, there are two shutouts that I distinctly remember, and it's both involving Cedar Rapids back in 2019. I have never seen this many shutouts. I'm just going to be real with you. There should not be any shutouts in this sport, man, but there are. And that makes no sense to me. But you know what does make sense? You hitting that subscribe button, you hitting, the like button, the share button, commenting, doing all the stuff you need to do to stay with this channel. And, maybe, in the future, you get another interview on here, but, some people decided that they don't want to be interviewed or decided to ghost me. But it's okay, guys. You guys can ghost me all you want to. I'm good, but I will definitely be looking out for a sixth interview at some point. It's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm planning on something different now. That I like to joke around, but my plans have definitely changed because, people don't respond. That means people don't, get on the channel. Yeah, so I'm going to hold my thoughts on that last interview. We'll get it out as soon as we can over the next couple of weeks, as soon as I can figure out who I want to feature on the channel. But yeah, I'm gonna get on up out of here, and I'm gonna see you all next week for more indoor arena football, talk, because yeah, that's what we do around here.